Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, everyone joining us for this stream. This is Oscar, your host, and with me tonight is going to be Alberto. Alberto, how are you doing?
Hi, Oscar. I'm really good. Really excited for this Italy versus Japan match tonight.
Yep, eSailing Nations Cup semi-final. This is what we're watching. This is the second semi-final. We had the first one yesterday, France versus Poland. It was a French victory, 7-2. So the French making it to the grand final, and the Polish will will fight for the bronze.
Yeah, and that will be the petite final on Saturday between Poland and the second team will be. We'll see it tonight, right?
We will see tonight, and this is going to be a very tight matchup. Hi, Pimpy in the chat. Pimpy not playing tonight is going to be Sozi on the Italian roster. But as I was saying, it is going to be a very tight match, Japan and Italy. Previous encounters between these two teams, they have fought each other twice in the history of the eSailing Nations Cup. One in 2023 during the knockout stages, where it was an Italian win 5-4, and then once during the round robin stage of this year's competition, where it was a Japanese win, 4-3. So yeah, very evenly matched, and we'll see how it goes. Because as I just said, 5-3. Sorry, 3-4 in the previous encounter during this year means that at any time it could go the other way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a match that will require a lot of attention from both the team and only the one who actually will do less mistakes. It will go to the grand final of the eSailing Nations Cup 2024.
Yeah, and we're looking at the roster on both teams. Sozi and 42 for the Italians. I'm going to let you talk about them a bit more later. And Kanako and Kazuki for the Japanese. Kanako, one of the faces we recognize and we know very well in the eSailing Nations Cup, always the favorite to take this female role in the Japanese squad, and she really deserves it because, she is one of the best ones out there, and with her is none other than Kazuki. Kazuki, who we've seen in the grand final this year, we've seen in multiple finals throughout the 2024 season. Very young and a very strong player on the Japanese squad. And I'll let you talk about the Italian roster.
On the other hand, we have Lorenzo Sorrenti. We saw him also at the final of the Nations Cup. And Sosi Rosalba Giordano, that she was a little bit absent during the round robin. I do not believe she raced much. Most of the races were raced by Pimpi, actually, Anna. And at the moment, we see that Italians in trouble after the first mark, with Kanako actually stopping it. I do not understand the reason for that. She will be 2 versus 1 with Kazuki. Will not be able to help a lot during the downwind leg. So it will be interesting to see what
this is a risky
Kanako
move
tactics is.
As they enter this mark, there might have been the overlap, but she's not taking any penalties so far. But she is in 42's wind shadow, so 42 is going to be able to put the penalty right here on Kanako. And let's remind everyone that in a 2v2 in team racing, basically, if you have the fourth place, you are going to lose. And Ahmet, nice to see you in the chat over there on the World Sailing YouTube page. Hope you're having a wonderful evening.
Ooh. I want to reiterate. Now the battle is between Kanako and 42 Lorenzo Sorrenti. But I believe Kazuki also have a really strong opportunity to be helpful in the last upwind leg, where everything can change again.
Yeah, if we look, that was a nice penalty put on 42 by Kanako. If we look at the previous encounter, so in this 2v2 mixed race between these two teams, it was a Japanese win previously in the round robin stage. But if you look at the broader picture, they are very similar. Both teams have won 5 out of their 7 rounds in the 2v2 mixed race. and Italy averaging at 4.43 and Japan averaging at 4.14. So clearly no clear winners according to the stats. Just that Japan has won the previous round, so we'll see if they can repeat that tonight or not. So far, it is, if we snapshot the ranking, looking like a Japanese win, but Kanako is still being chased by 42, and we are seeing Kazuki and Suzy fighting at the front over here. Manomenas 26, Daje Raga. Not sure what that means, but welcome. Hope you're having a good evening.
Where she's writing, where she's writing.
He is on or they are on the Twitch. Virtual Gata chat.
Yeah.
So Suzy has rounded the mark and is now in the next leg, so she can no longer have any effects on the leg that the rest of the teams are. Kazuki is going to sail back up to try to help his teammates and try to put 42 into last place. Obviously, you want to stay away from this fourth position in this team race. And let's see how 42 can try to escape this.
He doesn't have to. He has to do exactly like this. Give a penalty and then get a penalty, run the mark, and wait for Suzy help.
Yeah, and well, we saw Kazuki putting the penalty on 42, but 42 putting the penalty on Kanako. It is currently 1-4 for the Italians, 2-3 for the Japanese. Let's see how Suzy can try to pull off this mark trap at mark number 4. This is going to be the last downwind before the finish line. And Aremu in the game. Wow, is this a game they play? I'd love to do a series in my channel. This is the Virtual Gata Inshore game that you can download for free on your mobile, Android, or Apple, or you can play on your browser. Just type in Virtual Gata, and this is the inshore variant. We also have offshore variants. La Bercaise, I'm for Japan, just a joke. Italy is best, but I think France will win the final. Well, we'll see. France is in the grand final, but we don't know yet who is going to join them. And I can guarantee that we're going to have some very tight racing.
Yeah, but France will win the final, don't worry.
You're trying to jinx it, right?
No. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. At the moment, there is a penalty, though, to Kanako, given by Lorenzo Sorrenti, that brought the Japanese team in a little bit of trouble. But at the moment is the time for Kazuki to shine. Massive attack from Kazuki, and Lorenzo lost the third position. So we need to see what actually Suzy is aiming to plan for the next move, because at the moment Lorenzo has a lot of trouble. And attack for Lorenzo, it should have been dialing down to give the penalty to Kanako. Mistake from the Italian champion. And let's see how he's going to finish, because I believe this one will be a Japanese victory.
Well, it's still not really over, because they still have a bit more, like 150 meters until the finish line. Kanako has Suzy in front of her and 42 just on her starboard. Kazuki is going to do a dial down and miss Suzy and take the penalty instead by 42. And then suddenly now this is going to be an Italian win. Both Italians in front.
Yeah, I believe my power of jinx are
and you
reaching another level. Yeah.
But it is 1-2 for the Italians, 3-4 for the Japanese, so that makes it 1-0 for Italy. Confirmation of the score on your screen.
What do you think about the results of this race?
Well, I'm happy to see this first race because it was a battle from the start to the end. And we're going to see these two teams going back and forth between the rounds. As I said before, it was a Japanese win previously. It is now an Italian win in this 2v2. And this missed style down by Kazuki obviously cost him the race. But it is not over yet.
Yeah, but it's just the first one. It's just the first one, just the start. To be honest, what I saw from a Kazuki point of view, he is really, really strong in the fleet races. He has some trouble in the team races. He still need to grow a little bit. He's too kind, and I believe this one will be an amazing race for everybody tonight, and we'll see a lot of interesting stuff happening tonight.
Yep, a lot of interesting stuff indeed. And Chris1707D, nice to see you in the chat. It is indeed 9 races in total. And we're going to watch all 9 races, even if one of the 2 teams reaches race number 5 first. Next up is going to be a 3v3 Ilka. What can we say about the Ilka?
Ilka is the starboat, a boat that works better in the downwind part. So we will see a lot of the action in the downwind leg. I think here with the roster with a really young team, because Rocco Guerra, Fabio Zaccolo, and Luka Kozlovic in the team is a change of pace that nobody expected. This is a really young team rather than the kind of old team that was last year, older team that was last year. So we'll see what, especially on the mind point of view, these changes are going to influence the result of the race for Italy.
We'll see how it goes. On the Japanese side, we have Yuko, Evario, Muimui, some big names again on the Japanese squad. If we compare what happened, or compared to what happened previously in the round robin stage between Italy and Japan for this 3v3 Ilka, it was an Italian win, 9 points to 12. And if we take the bigger picture, though, it is a tie in terms of average points for both teams. So they have performed exactly the same in average, averaging at 8.43 points each.
Have you seen the amazing start that Luka Kozlovic pulled it off on the right hand side? He passed behind all the fleet and starting on port board on the race committee boat, and now is in the 3rd position with Rocco in the lead and helping Fabio Zac to come back from not a really good start, to be honest.
It's a very strong start from the Italian teams. Well, Luka Kozlovic and Rocco, well, Luka is very young, as you said, but he is a former eSailing World Championship finalist and a champion.
Both of them, actually. Even Rocco and Luka are both finalists. Luka arrived 3rd the year that Filippo won, so 2019. And Rocco was in 2020, actually.
Yeah, but and on the Japanese squad, Muimui and Yuko both have reached the grand final in the eSailing World Championship as well, though none of them has reached the podium yet. Remu in the game, that's why I don't gamble. You shouldn't gamble at all, no. Pimpy Alberto I was listening. Is that a jinx? That was a jinx from both from the previous race in favor of the Italians. Chris1707 predicting a 6-3 for Italy. And the Shaheen, hello. Nice to see you in the chat, predicting Italy will win. We will see. So far, it is 1-0 for Italy, but these two teams are very close in terms of level.
I believe the Japanese went the long run and increased a lot of the skill. They are always putting 1 or 2 players in the final of the World Championship. So they're actually investing a lot of time and energy on the quality of their player. And that's really impressive for a nation like Japan that is pushing a lot to have the best of the best in the eSailing world.
Yep. As we're approaching this this first mark, it's going to be mostly Italians at this. Well, at the mark, Luka Kozlovic first one to round it. Fabio Zac also rounding the mark. He's going to be neck and neck with Yuko. Rocco Guerra is still above Muimi, trying to slow him down. But with 1 and 2 is a winning combo. 1 and 3 is also a winning combo in the 3v3. So if Rocco and Luka can keep their current position, it is a win for Italy. RG Tyler 88 saying Kazuki has a younger brother who is just as good. He had a brother when I was teaching Kazuki anyway. Is that RG Tyler saying that Kazuki's level is thanks to him?
Tyler, let's hope to see you next year in the Nations Cup. I'm really looking forward for having New Zealand and Australia next year to the Nations Cup.
Aremu in the game, are those streaks across the screen what wind gusts look like? So there are several things that you see on the screen. There is the dotted line, which is the ley line, which is this imaginary line that is the most direct path to the mark, taking into reference the wind at the mark.
Mm-hmm.
There is the 400, 300, so the distance ladder that is going to move with the ley line as well. And this is just so we know more or less how many meters there are from the mark. And so for the wind gusts and shifts, you have to look at the watercolor and the mini map on the top left. So darker patch zones are where there are going to be stronger winds, and lighter patch zones obviously is where there's going to be more lighter winds. And you also have the wind socks at the top of the mini map. You have 3 of them, and this is going to show you the direction of the wind at the location of these wind socks.
At the moment, we are seeing a 1-2 match that is harder to be open up, even if Fabio Zak tried his best to do that.
It's going to be a lot of defensive work from Rocco and Luca. They have to keep Mui and Yuko at bay. They have to keep their 1 and 2 position. They can lose one, but losing one would put them more at risk of being dropped down to 4th for one of them.
Yeah. And at this moment, the Japanese are doing the right thing. They're splitting, so they are trying to put Luka Kozlovic in a bigger trouble. And Luka needed to stay close to them because, we see what's happened yesterday with the Polish that were strong in the lead, and then at the end they lost for a blink of an eye.
Yep. And I'm going to read the chat quickly over here on the Twitch channel. Tem Janik, hi guys, looking forward to see who we, Poland, are going to race for 3rd and learning team racing tricks from both. So we see the Polish already trying to see what is going to happen. Well, how they can prepare for their bronze final next weekend. And Void 11 saying that the only jinxer is Pimpy, so you're all good, Alberto.
Oh, thank God I'm not
And,
the jinxer anymore.
And I missed some of the follows. Alex K29, thank you for the follow, and Brayton Utkovic, thank you for the follow as well. And no worries, Aremu in the game. Well, we're approaching the finish line over here. It is still a 1-2 for the Italians. Shaheen57, thank you for the follow. Yeah, getting close to the finish line. So 1-2 for the Italians, 3-4-5 currently still for the Japanese. I don't see them being able to overtake or push any of the first 2 Italians in number 4. So I'm gonna go and say that this is another win for the Italians, making it 2-0.
Yep. That's actually a good call.
And we'll talk about the next race just in a few as the rest of the players are crossing this finish line.
This one was a race won at the start for the Italian with an amazing performance by Rocco Guerra and Luka Kozlovic. The amazing start was done by Luka, starting on port board on the race committee. Rocco Guerra did his the thing he can do the best, and at the moment is 2-0 Italy.
And Gugulas, thank you for the follow. Levercast, also thank you for the follow. Next race, therefore, is going to be a 4v4 J70. So we're switching up the boats. We're going to have a boat with a SPI. Still in the N-shaped course, though. 4v4. There we have it, J70 N-shaped course, 4v4, Italy versus Japan. 2-0 currently for Italy. It is 9 races in total, so the first one to reach 5 is going to go to the grand final. The other one is going to meet Poland in the bronze final. And the Italians looking confident so far.
They just have 2 points lead, to be honest. Japanese always come back at the latest part of the race, so I will not be relaxed until the victory is yours, because on a 4-1 you can still lose 5-4.
Yep. Previously 44 J70 Italy versus Japan in the round robin stage, it was a Japanese win, 19 points to 17.
Wow.
And once again, both teams are averaging at a very similar score. Italy averaging at 16 points in the 4v4 J70, and Japan averaging at 16.29. So a slight advantage to Italy in the averages, but an advantage to Japan in the previous round. As the race has started, several penalties, one from Ozil, one for Ozil, one for Kuch 30, one for 7-1. So a better start from the Italian team.
Yeah, definitely a good start here for KGR on the left-hand side, but except him, the rest of Japanese team did not start in a really, really nice way. And yep. I believe he will be interesting for the Japanese to come back from a similar situation. It's not a really easy way to come back to this kind of
we know in the losing combo in a 4v4, having the 7 and 8th position is a losing combo, whatever happens. So the Japanese are going to have to do something. Being behind in the downwind could bring an advantage, because you're going to be able to slow down the opponent and maybe attack. Maybe you prefer attacking to defend. And Aremu in the game, this is great content I'm downloading now. Thank you so much for that. Hope you will enjoy the game. There's a big community already on the Discord if you want to check that out. And Shaheen57, I love this game. I'm from UAE. Nice to see you there.
And there's also a big community in UAE.
Yep.
If I do not remember badly.
No, I think you're correct. I don't know. I don't remember which day they usually connect to play the custom races, but we see them regularly. Still an advantage for the Japanese. Amos and Tommy Tambo currently taking the 1 and 2 spot. KGR sneaking in here in third, but 42 is going to be better positioned to reach the mark first. That is again a very strong performance by the Italians. Mind you, it is also 5 a.m. for the Japanese, so they are still waking up.
Yeah.
Which is why the Italians are going to take any advantage they can now, because, well, as you just said, the Japanese can easily bounce back. The first 3 Italians are rounding the mark, no mark trap whatsoever. Didn't really need to if you have this top 3 position. Ozil Tutexi still chasing. Rocco Guerra taking the penalty behind at the mark.
This is interesting for... It's really a challenge for the Japanese now, because with Lorenzo 42 in the 3rd position, that will be tough. That will be tough to come back, and 50 meters already behind is not making it easier.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard. They have Rocco in 7, so they just need to push 1 down to 8. But pushing, well, any of this top 3 into a 7th or 8th position, as you said, is going to be no small task. But the Japanese still chasing. Tommy Tambo is in Ozil's wind shadow. You can see this with this lighter zone in front of the sail. This is the wind shadow, so if you're caught in there, you're going to be slowed down, because the boat behind you is just catching the wind, so you have less wind.
Oh, finally a nice match rating tactic on Lorenzo Sorrenti 42. Ozil and Totexi. Last year we give a name to this maneuver. It's called Under the Bus. So you can... No, is the slapping movement. So you have slap from right and left and right. So as you can see, Lorenzo at the moment is in a tough situation, and Rocco Guerra at the moment is last. So if they can bring Lorenzo to the 7th position, Italy can still lose here, and Japan is playing in an amazing way.
Yeah, well, this maneuver managed to put Totexi and Kuich in number 3 and 4, 42 suddenly in number 5. Will the Japanese be able to push him further back in number 7? Where is KGR in the meantime? KGR is quite far behind, though.
Yep.
And Rocco even further. Let's concentrate again on 42 and Ozil as they approach the mark. They're going to have to put a penalty or something to slow Lorenzo down enough for KGR to catch up. As they're sailing,
penalty is a must now.
Yeah. Amos Di Benedetto and Tommy Tamble are still sailing in front. They're slowing down a bit. They're likely going to have to dial down and help out their teammate 42 just to not risk anything crazy.
Yeah.
But 42 is currently in 6th, so he has lost to Kuich 31.471, and he is still in the wind shadow of Ozil and Kuich 31.471. KGR is still quite far behind, but not that much anymore.
Exactly, it's not that much, and probably Lorenzo is going to tuck in front of him. And what Ozil need to do is blocking the tuck of Lorenzo and allow KGR to tuck. And in that way, Japan can win this race. At the moment, they're not doing it. Not sure why, to be honest.
We see Ozil switching place. Instead of being clearly in front of 42, he is dialing down, and he's going to tack. He probably wanted the starboard advantage to 42 to force him to tack and leave KGR alone, meaning that KGR now has a free path on the right side of the
but there is a
KUC. Be a down down by KUIC 31.471, misses the style down, meaning that 42
risky
is now in
maneuver
fifth.
here.
This is a great defense by 42. Great attacks again by the Japanese. It's not over yet. Still more than 200 meters to go.
But to be honest, we are seeing an amazing race, an amazing attack over here over Lorenzo. And at the moment, also, Amos Di Benedetto came back to Totexi to make a little bit of a trouble because he feel that Lorenzo, he is in a pickle. Rocco went to the wrong direction, so there's no way for him to get back the position. And now Lorenzo is in really trouble because probably, I will say, this one will be a win for Japan. For a tenth of a second. Look here.
Okay, this
and
is
Lorenzo
very risky.
is in
Totexi
7th.
does take the penalty, but he is very close to the finish line. And it does look like the Japanese are going to take position number 3, 4, 5, and 6, meaning that the Italians will get 1, 2, 7, 8. And a 1, 2, 7, 8 is a loss in a 4v4. We'll get confirmation of the score as soon as Rocco Guerra crosses the finish line, but as you said, that is amazing regatta from the Japanese.
Just to be honest, amazing regatta from both the team, because the only issue was the Italian did an amazing start. 1, 2, 3. Rocco Guerra did not manage to block KGR on the downwind when he got a penalty, and that was the game changer for race number 3. So we can go to race number 4 now in a 2-1 situation.
Yep, and actually this score is perfect for me to kind of explain the scoreboard that you're seeing on your screen. You get the italic numbers. This is the number of points that you score in the race, and to get that points, you just add the position of each boat in the team. So if you get first and second, you get 1 plus 2, that's 3 points. and then the team with the least amount of points obviously wins the round. In case of a tie, which is the case in the 4v4 J70, both teams have scored 18 points. The tie-breaking system in team racing and sailing is that if there is a tie in points, the team who does not have first place will lose. Since Italy had the first place in the 4v4 by crossing the finish line with the first and second position, the round goes to the Japanese. So currently 2-1 for Italy still, as we're entering race number 4, 5v5 offshore racer.
Yeah, Shaheen, amazing race. That's exactly my point. I can feel that Tyler is upset, but the Japanese showed what is team race, and they did it in an amazing way.
So 5v5 offshore racer, we're again changing the boats, still in the N-shaped course, but the offshore racer is kind of different than the boats we've seen so far. It is a very long boat. It remains fairly agile. 5 seconds to put out the speed, and the bowsprit is usually what causes some players to take penalties that they did not want to take.
Yeah,
But it does have a pretty long bowsprit. 25 seconds to go.
I can see the Japanese are really, really well put, but it's too early to say because in a blink on an eye, everything can change. You see, a couple of penalties, and now it's actually becoming an interesting Italian start. 3-4 penalty for the Japanese. 3, 2, 1, go. Nice start from Luka Kozlovic again. Bad start from Velista di Napoli, but 2 penalty for the Japanese. Luka Kozlovic coming back. Ooh, no. He dialed down too much and get penalty number 16. Amazing pass of Moro di Napoli over Ozil. And let's see if Amos Di Benedetto can give a penalty to Ozil. No, it doesn't happen.
We're likely going to see this a lot throughout this race. 5v5 offshore racer, very light winds as well. 13 knots on average on this course for this race. Means that it's going to be hard for some of the players to really peel off. Means that most of the fleet is going to stay bunched up together. Currently, it's kind of like a repeat at the end of the 4v4 J70 when we see the Italians on both extremities, 1 and 2, and then 8, 9, 10, the Japanese in the middle. And I just want to answer to Aramu in the game. The boats are super agile. Are there weight classes or just this vessel? You see the reply from World Sailing TV. What they're saying is correct. So not necessarily boat classes, but you have, I think it's 11 different boat classes in the game, going from the F50 to the Ilka or the Star. So different kind of boats.
And this one is an interesting one because Moro di Napoli made a huge mistake on the rounding of the mark. Velisa 71 and Luka Kozlovic now in penalty. And KGR and Amos Di Benedetto was a close one again. So this is a winning combo for the Japanese that they have 5, 9, 15, 25 points. You win with the 27, win 28, you lose.
Yep. I have a question for you, Alberto. So we've seen 1, 2, 3 boats so far in this competition. Well, this semi-final. You were a previous Italian teammates for the Italian team in the eSailing Nations Cup. Which boat would you fit yourself in if you were on the Italian team?
At the moment, the team is still really, really strong, even without me. So me fetching in is not a big deal. But the offshore definitely is one of my favorites. Because nobody considered the bowsprit because they do not consider the double, the 2 length, one in the upwind, one in the downwind. And this is kind of a skill for me. And I'm the guy who give a lot of penalties, so it's actually what Amos is doing at the moment is what I'm normally doing, and I'm good to do. And as you can hear, there's tons of jibes here, and Luka Kozlovic at the moment get a penalty that put the Italians in really danger, because at the moment Italian 25 points, so 26 points for the Italians, so it's a really, really close race now.
Yeah, as you said, it is 27 or less to win the race.
Three
No
penalty
ties
here,
possible,
4
but...
penalty. 2 penalties for the Italian, 3 penalties for the Italian, 1 for Muimu in the back. Having 7, 8, having 9 and 10 is really, really bad, so let's see what's going to happen with Luka Kozlovic and Amos Di Benedetto here.
Very slow mark round in here for the last 4 boats between Amos, KGR, Luka Kozlovic, and Muimu, who takes the penalty by touching the mark. Charizard
It's
is going to cross the
26.
finish line, confirming the first place for the Japanese. Mauro Di Napoli taking a penalty from the dial down of Ozil. And Sir, I'm not sure I understand your question.
Yeah, you want to open up like a team race instead of a fleet race kind of thing. So the points of Italy and of
Okay.
Japan came out on the right side. Is because people need to be better at math. Like a lot of the eSailer needed to improve their math skill, and not having the possibility to have a automatically calculated point here. What do you think?
Well, it definitely makes you use a bit more of your brain power if you need to calculate the maths. So we'll say that this is why you do not have the live score.
Yep.
Because you do not have the live score during a real team race either.
So here is a matter of like probably 1 point, and I believe is a victory for Japan. 23, 26, 20, 28 Japan, 10, 20, yeah, 28 Japan, 27 Italy. Wow. This was a really a tough one. 1 point until the last second, and I believe here we are seeing a lot of really interesting race. Amazing performance by both the teams. It was really interesting what each of them really pulled off. Yeah, exactly as Farley says. At the end was really close between Luka Kozlovic and KGR, and that 0.1 of a second was the difference between victory and loss. Actually, Luka Kozlovic, KGR, and the Totexi. So that one was insane. Luka Kozlovic winning for 1 decimal point the race for the team. Congratulations, Italy. 3-1.
3-1 for Italy, meaning that they just need 2 more races to win their place to the grand final. But I think we're gonna have a very different kind of race again over here with the 9v9 49ers. So very unconventional for sure, but we can do it. 49er is another one of the Olympic classes on the game, and most of the difference is going to be in the upwind. It has a very efficient upwind. So the battles are likely going to be during that stage. We're also changing the course. We're switching up to a normal upwind downwind. And round number 5, 49er, 9 versus 9, currently 3-1 for Italy.
Yep.
9 versus 9 previously was an Italian win, 79 points to 92. You need 85.5 points or less to win the round. The Italians averaging at 74 points, and the Japanese averaging at 75 points. So still very close, but a slight advantage to the Italians. Yeah,
but here Italy have a lot of people specialize in this kind of races. Velisa 71, Mauro Di Napoli, Tommy Tumble, see you later. All specialists of the 9v9, of the fleet race team racing. So I believe Italy have a slight advantage in In this one, rather than the Japanese are more all around, even if they have like Kazuki, they have like Vegas, they're really, really strong in this kind of event. 10 seconds to go.
A lot of penalties on the sides. Watch out for penalty start. If you are in penalty, do not cross the start line on port, or you will get a penalty start. And well,
I believe
looks like a pretty
big
good
start
Japanese
for
start.
the Japanese, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
6 players in the top 10 position gives you almost automatically the victory in this one, but we just started. And still 16 and 17 are Japanese, so 15, 16, and 17 are actually Japanese in the back. So they're like
Yeah.
compensating the top 3 in the front. It's really a separate fleet. So the top are Japanese, and the bottom are Japanese, and in the middle are the Italians. It's really, really weird.
Yeah, we'll see how this shuffles. LA course, as I said, so there's an offset mark at the top. It is a gate at the bottom, but that means that you're going to leave the marks on your port in the upwind.
Okay, can you press F and show us the beauty of the background that we have at the moment? Oh, look at this. This is an amazing view. And I believe we are watching the pinnacle of the eSailing here. Italy versus Japan.
And we are in the Mondello Bay, which is north of Palermo. This is the requested venue from the Italians for winning the 2023 Sailing Nations Cup.
Yeah, that's why I ask. I'm racing for the Sicilian team, so in the Italian Championship. So that's why I'm asking it. Okay, back to the results. I believe there is a slight change with Charizard here getting a penalty, but Moro di Napoli, he is here in the top 5 places. No friendly fire. Amazing job by the Italian that are all packed together.
Yep. We see this
And to be
big
honest,
pack of Italians in the middle. Continue, yep.
if I'm Aima, I will stop and make a mark trap, like with 6 Italian boats behind. You make a mayhem over there.
Well, they could have. They could have. Well, this is a 9v9, so obviously knowing the winning or losing combinations is almost impossible because there's so many of them. And this is not
Yeah, that's
a
true.
format that you practice a lot. So it is going to play maybe a bit more like a fleet race. But if you see your opponents behind you, then penalize them, slow them down. If you see a teammate struggling, try to help them out as well. Because at the end, it is still a team race, so the overall team score is going to matter more than your personal performance. Are RMU in the game? Are y'all sharing this TikTok, Facebook, IG, etc.? I was surprised that there's so few here on YouTube. So the stream is actually on 5 different channels. So there's the Virtual Regatta Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, and then there's the World Sailing YouTube and Facebook as well. The viewers are likely kind of spread out on these 5 channels. But World Sailing is getting busy in eSailing, organizing the eSailing World Championship on Virtual Regatta, and we're currently watching the eSailing Nations Cup as we see Movimento Cinco Nodi taking the penalty by Aima.
Yeah, guys, Movimento Cinque Nodi is the representative of the yacht club asking for Mandello Bay, so he has to win there.
And I remember in the game Sicilian all day, assuming you're from there as well. Tim Jen, a question about the light winds, which result in unexpected big shifts, which might turn the results upside down. So the reason why it's like this is because, well, even in real life, you don't feel it as much because it is lighter winds, but lighter winds tend to shift a lot more than stronger winds. So you'll see more shift potential in lighter winds than you will see in stronger winds. Doesn't mean that stronger winds will never shift, but they're more likely to shift in lighter winds.
Yeah.
Dr. Cool training, I give Japan my mojo so we can see exciting racing for a bit longer, but it's still not over, Japanese have 1, 2, 3. They also have quite a lot at the back. So Ema, Totexi need to put some penalties on the Italians behind them.
Yeah, but it's even hard to say who is going to win. Probably Italians, but to be honest, I will not put.
I see a lot of white at the back, so I think it is an Italian win for now, if we snapshot this ranking.
Trust your guts. Yeah, at the moment there's only 3 in the front, and Ema actually lost like 10 position.
Yeah,
So
he's with Mimui behind Amos, Fabio.
and
We
that's
see
the
Amos
beauty
trying
of
to pull off a
eSailing.
mug trap over
Everything can
here,
change.
slowing down Mimui and Ema. That's going to give a little bit more distance to the Italians in front. We do see 2 Italians in 17 and 18. See You Later and Tommy Tamble. See You Later is actually the captain of this Italian squad.
Yep.
And Amos Di Benedetto taking a penalty here from Vegas, the Japanese captain.
Yeah, but I believe we can say without too much effort that this one will be an Italian victory. As you said, the white are a lot in the back.
Well, they can try to push Amos in 16 and get Yuko and Japan 985 further up. But as I say that, Japan 985 is going to drop down to 18.
And then a jinxer. Tell Oscar, not the jinxer.
But we see the first boats crossing the finish line at the top of your screen over there. First place for Ozil, second for Evario, so that is a solid performance by these 2 players. But then it's going to be a lot of Italians, followed by a lot of the Japanese. We'll look at the score tally.
Yeah.
After that, Japan 985 taking the penalty here from, was that Tommy Tamble? No, Amos Di Benedetto. And maybe he managed to steal 2 places with that move.
Yeah. So easy a victory for the Italians with a really good start from the Japanese. And to be honest, the mark drop that I recommended, if it was done successfully, would have changed a little bit the match in positively for the Japanese, because the issue of not slowing them down a lot and sacrifice one of your team member for the good of the whole team. That was the mistake done by the Japanese that lose 81-90 Italy. So 4-1 first match point for the grand final for the Italian.
Let's switch to that. So how will the Japanese answer? It is match points for the Italians. They're going to have to win every single race starting from now.
Yeah.
And RT Tyler is saying that mark traps in fast boats isn't as useful. So maybe that is why they're not done. And Aremu in the game, the Italians are bunched up too much. Could leave an opening for the Japanese. Sorry, I missed that message. But yeah, that kind of reflects what Alberto was saying with all the Italians being bunched up. It could have left a very big opening for the Japanese, as you said, if there was a successful mark trap or penalty of some sort.
Yeah.
Head-to-head comparison between your 2 teams in a 3v3 mixed race. It was a Japanese win previously, 9 points to 12. The Italians average at 9.14 points in this race in the round robin stage, while the Japanese average at 8.43. So a slight advantage to the Japanese for this one.
Interesting.
And I'm gonna have to disagree with what RG Tyler and Pimpy are saying. that mark traps and fast boats isn't as useful. If you do a successful mark trap successively, and you can do it on several of them, in the long run, it's gonna pay off because you're gonna have more and more of your teammates managing to maybe overtake one or two positions, and these one or two positions are gonna change a lot in these big fleets.
It depends if the mark trap is done for one boat or for.
Yeah, for
Like
one boat,
was
it's not gonna
with the
matter, but if you
Italian.
can trap 3, 4, that can make a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's happening so far in this race? We see Kanako taking the lead, according to the ranking on the left, but is neck and neck with Sozi. The two female boats are the ones leading the march. We see the Italians are at the extremities on their left side.
It will be interesting because the right wing shift is coming. So I believe Kazuki will gain a little bit, so it'll be closer to the puck. And Yuko is still close to Lorenzo, so it's challenging, this one. Where is going Kanako?
She's going to try
Do you
maybe to
think
tack over Rocco, or is that maybe a...
disconnection?
Maybe. That might be
Hopefully
one.
not for the Japanese team.
But it is going to be Sozi and 42 reaching this mark zone first. And this is looking back for the Japanese.
Now Kanako is back in the control of the boat, but she is really, really far behind. And the penalty on Yuko now is a game changer.
And that's going to be almost impossible for the Japanese to come back, because in a 3v3, the 1 and 2 is a winning combination, and the Italians currently have 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
And Rocco is going to have fun at the back over here, reaching the mark first. Likely going to try to slow them down or do a mark trap. Penalty while forcing Kazuki onto the mark, so Kazuki taking rule 31. But I think Yuko is still too far to catch up on 42 and Sozi.
Yep. Yes, over 100 meter already, and I will say the problem with the connection from Kanako gives a little bit of a.
Well, definitely didn't help because she was at the front, so she could have made a difference.
Yeah. PT, really, really, really big
And
PT.
looks like the Twitch is agreeing that Italy has won this race. Well done, Italy, says a Sarah finalist 2025. RG Tyler 88, well done, Italy. Experiences showing less nerves.
I want to tell you, less nerves is not a word that I would use. I believe that Japan showed that there is a reason why they're there, and they are one of the strongest team, and they show it up tonight. The Italian were stronger on the 1v1, and is undeniable, that one. But the Japanese, even if it's a 5-1 at the moment, is a 4-1 with a possibility of a 5-1, they do not came out. Is not a huge defeat. A lot of the small, tiny error prejudicate this event, like we see yesterday between Poland and France.
Yeah, you're right. Even if currently we're likely going to see a 5-1, doesn't necessarily reflect what happened during the race. But it does look like it's going to be an Italian win for this one, meaning that they're going to meet the French. We're going to have a repeat of 2023 between these two teams.
Mm-hmm. I have a quick question for you. How many final did France attend of the Nations Cup? Because definitely this
4,
will be the
including this one.
4. So all of them.
I think all but one. I think.
All but one. Definitely France is the team to beat. Always been and always will be.
Holding title, well, the team holding the title is the Italians still. But yeah, Kazuki is going to try to slow down Rokogera, push him maybe in 6th. Just for the honor, I don't think Gyuko is going to be able to catch. Well, even if he overtakes Sozi or Lorenzo, that's not going to be enough because even a 1 in 3 is a winning combo, as Rokogera takes a penalty here from Kazuki. Yeah.
I would say that everything was during the start, because even if the Japanese have the problem with Kanako, they were 1-5-6, so not really in a strong winning combo. And I believe this one is closing the game for the qualification, but not for the results.
Yeah, so we're still going to be watching the other races. We're going to go do all 9 races tonight. Even if we now know that the Italians, unless there's a sudden disconnect now, have won this race and are now qualified for the grand final.
Yeah. So we are waiting for Sozi to cross the line before giving the congratulation. And now congratulations to Team Italy for the victory and going to the semifinal. They are so far behind.
Yeah. There's truly this rift between this top 3 and then the remaining 3. Just proves that Rocco did his job perfectly. Even if they had the 1, 2, 3, they made sure that one of them stayed behind to just slow down as much as possible the remaining players on the water, as Rocco is soon going to cross the finish line in 4th position, Kazuki in 5th, and Kanako in 6th.
Yeah. What do you see? What do you say? Move faster to the next one?
Sure, if the teams are ready, let's do that. And we do have some exciting races, actually. A lot more fast-paced for 2 of them.
Yep. We have the F50 now, where everybody's almost in. They're missing just one Japanese player.
So F50, also a different kind of course. We're going with a reaching start. Reaching on with the wind on your starboard, with a downwind gate, then a upwind gate, downwind gate again, upwind gate again, and a reaching finish on port. As you said, very fast boats, so you're going to see them start quite far from the starting line to pick up speed and reach that starting line at top speed. Most importantly, it is a lot easier to control the feet and to control the race if you reach the reaching mark and the downwind gate first. So the start is crucial in this race, and the little white lines that you see, the thick white lines, you see one of the Japanese is out, are the boundaries. So if you go too far into the boundaries, you will get the 10-second slowdown. So you have to stay within these boundaries, meaning that the fleets will stay tight together. As the boats pick up speed.
Let's go 3, 2, 1. I would say almost equal start, a little bit more advantage for
Let's start from Amos, who
the
manages
Italian.
to pull in front, Luca is going to be able to push the two Japanese on the right and puts one penalty on the
One each.
Japanese and one penalty for Luca.
Yeah.
So a very mixed fleet still.
Yeah, 7-8 for the Italians. 6-7-8 for the Italians, but Amos Di Memento is still in the lead.
Yeah, Luca's going to overtake
Oh,
one of the Japanese, try to do a mark chop. He's going to slow down Kuich 31
it
for
was,
7-1.
they were really, really close there.
Yeah. Surprised there was no collision there. Because with the FFT, the boat is going to be very fast, so it is a bit harder to maneuver compared to the slower boats we had so far.
Yeah.
And Amos still in first place, still a 2-3-4 for the Japanese. Luca is going to cross paths with Japan 985. No collisions there, and two of the Italians are deciding to go completely on the right over there, get to that ley line, try to attack, and get to the
I think they
up one
were going to
gates.
cross in the front, to be honest, because that one seems the right way to go.
Yeah, the wind is shifting, and that's gonna. Let's focus on the fleets on the left over here with Japan 985.
Look how fast is Lorenzo and Luca here.
Well, they did go to the darker patch, so they had more wind, so they would have gone faster, but they didn't gain any position so far. It is still the three Japanese in 2-3-4. And as I say that, Luka Kozlovic pushes Japan 985 out of the podium, well, out of the fourth place, puts the penalty on him. And we have 1, 4, 5, 6 for the Italians now. We still see that Charizard away on the left over there, sticking to the darker zones, going now at more than 45 knots, 45 and a half.
Impressive speed, this boat, huh?
Yep.
At the moment, is a victory for the Italians. And over, as I said before, they have these talentos sailors like Luka Kozlovic, like Amos Di Benedetto, that when they are in team together, it's hard to see them making huge mistakes. They have a lot of comebacks from really, really tough situation. And it's a pleasure to see them playing. They came back from an insanely awful situation, and they're actually switching a really difficult position to a victory one. So
And we see
kudos to those
Charizard here,
sailors.
accompanying Kuich 31 for 7-1 completely on the right, as much as he can, while the rest of the fleet on the left over there are in the lighter areas, going almost at 24 knots. Sorry, 30 knots here for KTR.
Our friend Toshiki Kogure, KGR.
And we see an attack from Amos on Wimui, shutting down the Japanese, trying to push him out of the podium. And I think
And now it's a
successfully
1-2-3
does so.
situation.
1-2-3 for the Italians just with this one attack. As they're going to reach for this last downwind and then the reaching leg. Was that friendly fire between the two Japanese, Japan 95 and KGR?
No. Was 42 coming super fast, giving a penalty that was insanely good.
Yeah, well, now's the last chance for the Japanese. They need to put the penalty on both Italians. They need to push them in 7 and 8. That's the only way for them to win. But that's going to be very hard. OS42 manages to squeeze between the two Japanese and gets back into this third
Oh
position.
my god, what did he do? What did he do over there?
And it is a 1-2-3-4 for the Italians in this 4v4 F50.
Yeah.
Let her race again.
Yeah. I have no words anymore. I'm losing all my words here.
So that will make it 6-1. Gabriele Marioni, nice match, guys. It is indeed a nice match to watch, even if it is 6-1 currently for Italy. The 6-1 doesn't necessarily reflect what we saw during the races.
Yeah, totally agree with you. And probably the coach of both teams are going to say exactly the same thing.
Yep.
All the players are in. 3, 2, 1, go.
So back in the Ilka 5v5 this time. Let's look at what happened. So the 5v5 Ilka is the new round that is only happening in the knockout round. So that did not happen during the round robin, where we stopped at the 4v4 F50. So both teams have only played once in the 5v5 Ilka. Both teams have won their 5v5 Ilka. Italian scoring 25 points and the Japanese scoring 19 points. You need 27 or less to win.
Yeah.
As we get to the 30 seconds before they can cross the start line. Izuki currently in penalty.
Seven seconds to go. One of the Japanese is in serious trouble here on the race committee. Penalty for Vegas, penalty for Ema, penalty for Tommy Tumble, penalty for Ivario, penalty for Mardi Napoli. Who doesn't have a penalty here? Kazuki
5
and Yuko.
penalties, half of the fleet taking a penalty at the start over here. And we're back onto the end shape, so it's going to be the upwind reaching downwind, reaching upwind. Marks are going to be left on starboard. And we're currently seeing a 1-2 for the Japanese. 1-2-3.
A 1-2-4, a 1-2-3, 1-2-4. That is definitely a winner one. A winner combo.
See you later in the middle of these three Japanese over here. See you later, the Italian captain between Ivario, Funiyuko, and Ema.
Yeah. So, asking the chat, we'll finish 6-3, 7-2, or 8-1, and see what they will answer, because I really want to see what is going to happen after that. Gabriele Marinoni, thank you for the nice matches.
Looking at things in the background, what's happening so far, Alberto?
Yeah, I was trying to understand if there is a possibility for a right-wing shift where the Italian can gain a little bit, because the fleet, the Japanese are mostly on the left, the Italian mostly on the right. But actually, right now they paired up, 3 and 3 on the right, 2 and 2 on the left. So, not sure what's going to happen now. The thing is, the 3 players from the Japan were in the one in the back. So yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Any
a bit too
idea?
early for now for this race, but Gabriel Marione is saying I really don't know how it'll end. No idea.
Yeah. What do you think, Oscar?
I think the Japanese are going to win this Ilka race, and I think the Italians are going to
Okay.
win the F50. So I think it's going to
So
be
8-1.
no, a 7-2.
7-2.
Yeah,
8-2, yeah, sorry. 7-2, yeah.
7-2.
I agree for the victory for the Hilka here. Well move from Vegas and Kazuki to allow Yuko and Aima to run away, be more free. And Kazuki like just blocking like 3 different Italian at the same time. He is surrounded. Look at the Kazuki, how
Yeah,
how poor he is. 4 Italian around him, and it is stopping everybody.
I do see Yuko and Aima. That's going to allow them to pull away slightly. Kizuki putting the penalty on Movimento Cinco Nori. He's not going to try to put his attention on. I was going to say more Di Napoli, but it looks like he's going to try to concentrate on Tommy Tamble.
Yeah.
His teammate
So
is behind to help out.
the
Maybe his teammate can catch up on Mora Di Napoli.
with a 9 and 10 for the Japanese. So if the Italian want to aim for a 9 and 10 for the Japanese, they can actually do it because Mordi Napoli and Kazuki are too far away already.
Yeah, we are seeing this dark patch on the right over there.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it's difficult because if you stay in the middle, you're going to lose a little bit.
And according to Farley's maths, a 1-2-7-8-9 is a win.
Yeah, correct. If you have 1-2, you do not have to have the last one. If you have a 1-2-5, you're always winning. So it depends if actually Kazuki can keep over there. And Moro di Napoli, if he can get back the position, the Italian can come back, putting the 2 Japanese in 9 and 10th position.
And
That
see you
is not
later
that difficult if you think about it.
Yeah, see you later did manage to take advantage of this pressure that there was on the right. He was alone there. He managed to catch up to Yuko, actually taking the penalty from Yuko. So he took the first place for a brief moment there. That is now back into third, but he is the Italian, manages to put the penalty. No, takes the penalty again from Yuko.
And so we are back with a winning combo for Japan, 1-2-5. But it's definitely a narrower because couple of position lost, 3 position lost, and the game is over for the Japan.
Well, we see them at the mark over there. See later is taking another penalty again from Yuko. Yuko really going ham on him.
Yeah, but the important one is Kazuki. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him going fast,
Kazuki's
fast.
Round the mark, putting the penalty here on Tommy Tamble.
How does it happen? I really want to rewatch this one. I didn't understand this one.
Always something to do with breaking the overlap or something like that. We see 3 of the Italians going on the left, trying to get the darker patch again. You have one on the left, one on the right. See you later, still in the mix to this podium place.
He have a hard time to find some clear win here.
He's trying to do something, trying to do a penalty. Can't
Oh,
really
look at Aima, what
find
he's doing. Look at Aima.
possibility. Aima is joining the rest of the Italians on the left. He's going to try to control them.
Yeah.
I think that's a good
Well
decision.
done.
And he's going to attack over them, trying to slow them down. And if the Italians are going to take the wind pressure, well, so is Aima. But Aima being above is going to have the advantage. And well, looks like a clear Japanese win so far. I have not jinxed it yet.
Really? We are close. We are close to jinx it.
Yeah, we're very close. Actually, it's not clear at all. Well, it's going to be hard for the Italians to win, but so the advantage is still for the Japanese. But never say never, I guess. We do have, I think, a see you later still completely on the right over there, alone.
Yeah.
And we now have a 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Japanese.
Yeah, I will say this one is a Japanese victory. Who's winning this with this results? Yeah, Gabriele Marinoni. This one with 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Japanese is hard for being an Italian victory.
Yeah, we just saw Yuko putting 2 penalties here on Movimento Cinquenoti and Moro di Napoli. And well, maybe they're gonna lose this 4th place actually.
Yeah, but they have 1, 2, 4.
4th place. But there we have it. It's a 1, 2, 4, 5, 8 for the Japanese.
Impressive
6, 7, 8, 9,
race
for the Italians.
I have to say, impressive race for the Japanese. Nothing much that we can add to this race. Amazingly executed, and congratulations for the victory. Really impressed. Last race of the night. So we are 6-2 now for the Japanese. Let's go to see.
Let's see the magic happen. F50 again, so we're like previously on the reaching course, or reaching start and reaching finish. Then it's the normal upwind, downwinds with gates on each side, and you still have the boundaries, so a narrower course. So the fleets will cross paths more often.
So on the roster we have Antonio Moro di Napoli, we have Rocco Guerra, Luca Kozlovic for Italian Toshiki. I will go also for the full Japanese name here because I want to butcher a little bit of names. So we have Toshiki Kogure KGR. We have Kazuki Kumagai,
10 seconds to go.
JPN 985, and Kazuki Miyamae, FSC Kazuki. Ooh, impressive start for the Japanese.
But a penalty put on him, and that makes an impressive start, as you just said, by the Japanese. 1, 2, 3 for them.
I think.
And 3v3, 1 or 2 or 1 and 3 is a winning combo. So KGR is likely going to hand back, trying to slow down as much as he can the rest of the Italian fleet.
He didn't perform that tasks really well, but still there is a big difference between the top 2 and the 3rd. I think my bet was actually in a stronger position now.
Yeah, I think so too. In the previous, in the quarterfinals, both teams have won their 3v3 F50, and both teams have scored the exact same amount of points, 6 points. So
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. So it's going to be really hard for us to really give an advantage to one, though it does look like a Japanese advantage so far. But we saw what happened in the previous F50 race.
Yeah. And they're already starting to make a lot of mistakes because Rocco Guerra is already really, really close. And there's a right wing shift coming, then a left wing shift coming back again. So
as long as the Japanese can keep this first position and the other position on the podium, it's fine for them.
Yep.
But Rocco is dangerously close.
Yeah, but the JPN 985 Kazuki Kumagai is getting so 2 Kazuki in the top. Kazuki Kumagai, JPN 985, Kazuki Miyamai in FSG Kazuki in the lead for the Japanese.
Staying in the dark patch over here, you see the darker waters. This means that they're going to go a lot faster. We see Rokogera gaining some meters on Kazuki. The wind shadow is a bit different on the F50 because the F50 is faster than the wind. You can see it going at above 40 knots with just under 30 knots of wind.
And Kazuki tacking here in front of Rokogera, slowing down a little bit. And keeping like this, the second position. Ooh, penalty for Rocco.
Maybe, yep. Maybe a bit too greedy on the mark over there, touching it. Taking the 10.
Yeah, he was going to push.
Slow down.
He wanted to prove me wrong and says going for a 7-2. But to be honest, with
is now in third according to the ranking. Rocco is still not far behind though, taking third place from Luca again.
A right wing shift is really unlucky for Rocco. But he's really, really close, Kazuki, with Rocco Guerra and Luka Kozlovic. But if Moro Di Napoli is still the last one, Japan need to have only the first and do not have the last one, and you're still winning. Because 1-4-5 is still a winning combo.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't risk it still.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. But it is pretty straightforward sailing so far. Japanese just happy to easily defend. We see Rocco putting the penalty here on KGR, trying to push him into 6th, just in case they manage to catch up. But that does not look like it. Looks like the Japanese have confirmed their first place. And then we'll see if Luka Kozlovic can put Kazuki into 3rd. He did manage to steal the 2nd place. He is on the inside mark. Kazuki managing to escape. No penalties on Kazuki. Amazing maneuver by this player over here. And Kazuki's going to confirm the 2nd place. Luka Kozlovic is going to take 3rd for the Italians. Rocco 4th. KGR in 5th. And Moro Di Napoli in 6th, making it a Japanese win. 6-3 is going to be the final score. Well,
I want to ask you,
teams, I guess.
We are here closing the thing, the live stream for this amazing semi-final. I have a huge question for you that we never did before, and I think we need to introduce it now. Who's your MVP?
I think 42.
I will go with Sozi. And it's a really, really challenging things, but Sozi was the key for everything.
Really?
It was in the trickiest part. She was the one who gave the slightly push where you expect everything from Lorenzo, for example. Sozi today play as the best of her capacities. Really happy of her performance.
Yep, well, I guess that's something we could introduce in the next live streams, trying to vote for the player of the match. But it is a 6-3 final score for the semi-final between Italy and Japan. Italy are going to meet France in the grand final next weekend on Sunday. And Japan is going to fight for bronze against Poland on Saturday. That's the 25th of January. Congratulations to both teams. Very well played. The 6-3 doesn't necessarily reflect what happened during the races. It is still an Italian win nonetheless, so they still manage to to prove that they were better tonight. And they're going to defend their title next week.
We were just unlucky on the position of the results because a 6-3 in the end is not a major defeat for Japan, and Japan knows it. Japan winning the last two, that was the unfortunate part, because having a 4-3 and then finishing a 5-3 and 6-3, it will be the most amazing part, rather than having a 6-1 and then finishing a 6-3.
Yep, agreed. But that's not how we had it tonight. I guess it's time for us to conclude the stream. Again, congratulations to Italy for making it to the grand final. They will defend their title against France. I'm going to repeat it next Sunday on the 26th of January, while Japan is going to meet Poland for the bronze medal on Saturday. That's the 25th of January. This has been Oscar, your host, and with me tonight was Alberto. Alberto, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we'll see you guys next week. Tune in for the grand final and the bronze final on the same channels that you've watched the matches today. And it's been a blast. See y'all.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.